Okay, so this is the first episode of the glitch analysis series for the Dynasty Warriors games. And I thought about making videos in Dynasty Warriors 3 first, but then I realized, you know what, Dynasty Warriors 2 has some other problems that I may want to talk about. But before I talk about the problems in the game, let's talk about something hidden in the game that not many people know about. It's in this battle, the Battle of Zhuge, which is something that basically all players have seen before, but they were never really there because, you know, it's just part of a cutscene and people assume that you could never get there. But you can actually go there, and I want to show that a little bit of live commentary because I couldn't make a script for a video like this. It's just not that fun. So okay, we're in the Battle of Zhuge, which is the battle where Cao Cao fights against Sun Quan and Liu Bei. But the specific part that we wanna take a look at is Zhuge Liang's little house that he has on this battlefield, because in a cutscene we're probably not gonna see it because I'm gonna walk to the house immediately, but there is a cutscene where you can see the house where he's inside of preparing all of the stuff for the wind and everything, you know, and there's the building up there, like somewhere behind this, which is like kinda accurate, I guess. I don't know, like the placement is a little bit weird compared to where it is supposed to be, but once we go up here there should be trees nearby somewhere, and once we find those trees we're on the right track to finding Zhuge Liang's hidden building. It'll take a moment because the last time I was here was a while ago. Okay, we got the trees and there it is. Sadly this thing doesn't have collision, so you know we can't really go up there, and we have flying trees as you can see. But yeah, this is Zhuge Liang's secret building. Oh, we can go up. Okay, I didn't know that. I only went up with the horse, and apparently the horse walks through the objects. But yeah, this is the place where Zhuge Liang is gonna have his little preparation for the wind. And not many people know that this actually exists on the map. Like, I mean, I guess it's obvious that if a cutscene happens and it's rendered in-game, that the object has to exist somewhere in a reasonable distance, but still it's pretty interesting because you don't expect this game to have anything out of bounds, or at least anything that has this much detail added to it that you maybe see from like one angle. And I think if I remember this correctly, you see it from this angle, where Zhuge Liang is gonna be like right here preparing his stuff. I mean, maybe we're gonna see it, I don't know, I don't think so, because it's gonna take a long time for this to actually show up. Well, let's talk about these trees. They're very interesting. They're not at all connected to the ground, yeah. I mean, I guess the detail for the trees wasn't really, you know, in question, because who's ever gonna see this? I mean, we're gonna see it. But generally, while the game was still new, I think nobody ever saw this outside of the cutscene, so I guess it made sense to never really care about the placement. Let's see if the horse can go up here as well. Oh, it can, very nice. Makes it even worse to get up there because they never anticipated that the player would go up here, and you know, the camera is not really optimized for this, especially because they don't really have that many buildings where you go under something, except for gates, but that's like all of it. So yeah, this wasn't really optimized, so you basically get what you get. But it's very interesting, like they put a lot of detail into this, even though they didn't have to. But they really wanted to make this special, apparently. I mean, I guess this battle is what decided what the Three Kingdoms are gonna be like. Or at least it was like one of the more important battles that shaped what the Three Kingdoms would become. I have to say the Three Kingdoms didn't exist at that point. It took like 14 more years to even get to that point. But yeah, that's where the ceremony happens. And it's very unique. I think none of these textures are actually visible outside of this place. I think this is very, very unique to this one building. Well, and the tables are floating, but you wouldn't see that from the camera angle in the cutscene. But it's really cool. Like, probably something you haven't seen before. Let's see if I can even jump here. Okay, I can, because then we can see the roof a little bit better. And some textures are breaking. I mean, I guess that's the only major thing about this game, is that the textures sometimes break depending on where you are, but this is like very normal for games that were made like a quarter of a century ago. Now I made people feel old. But yeah, this looks really interesting, and I wish they would have actually had this as like a little area up here where you could like either walk up, or they made this like as like a little canyon where this would exist, and you could stop all of this, and there would be two armies on the Wu side, like the Shu people would be here and doing all of their stuff. That would have been pretty cool, because this kind of seems like wasted time to actually work on something like this and never actually put it into the game in the way that the player would see it with their own camera, not with the cutscene camera, because a cutscene camera is obviously a little bit different in this game. And I'm sure that they probably try to do something with this. I mean, it wouldn't be fully designed if they actually thought that nobody would see this. So maybe it was something that they built and then were like, oh yeah, let's reuse this maybe later on, or maybe we're gonna find some place for it, but then it didn't happen. Could be the case. I mean, a lot of stuff in games that is unused because they either couldn't put it into the game anymore, or within development it just didn't find its place even though it was planned for something. You know, there's stuff like that. That happens in game development, so maybe this already existed on an older version of the map and they were like, ah, it's fully designed, it looks pretty nice, let's at least keep it somewhere. But yeah, this is like one of the only interesting things you can find out of bounds, sadly. I mean, technically you could go further and further, thousands of miles into one direction, but that's probably not gonna do anything, because outside of this the game is pretty broken. So yeah, but this is like the only out of bounds discovery you can make in this game. But it's definitely a special one. Not many people know about this, and now you know. Always a few things you can learn about these games, and obviously the horses disappear. This is another issue that I'm gonna talk about in the conclusion video, where I'm gonna talk about everything at once. But yeah, it's like pretty sad and pretty interesting at the same time that this still exists. I mean, if this could have actually found its place on the battlefield and you could have prevented the fire attack and everything, would have been pretty cool. But yeah, I guess this is just a dream right now and not something that is actually like something that you could see in the game when you play. Otherwise, the trees that they placed here, I think you can't even see some of them in the cutscene. So it's literally like just stuff over here that you probably will never see if you either don't know how to get to this point, or if you just generally don't care enough about the game. That's like what most players do, I guess. Something that not many people find, because who would even go as far as trying to find this? I mean, it took a while to even find this once I found out about it, because I thought like, where could this be? I always thought it was like either on the top right or like the bottom right of the map, but it wasn't there. So it took a while to find this, but when I explored all of the maps myself, I found this, and it was a pretty interesting find, because you don't expect this game to have anything out of bounds, and then this happens. So you can imagine the first time I saw this, it was definitely a shock. Especially because Dynasty Warriors 2 isn't known for its complexity or unused content. I mean, technically it's used, I know it's used in a cutscene and everything, but it's not used like this, that you can go there, fight enemies there. It's not that way. That's the sad part about it. But maybe you can one day have a version of this where this will be added to the battlefield and not just hang around out here for 25 years before someone like walks upon it. I don't know. But okay, this should be the first video. I mean, I can't say too much about this because there's not much happening out here. There might be other videos where I say a lot more, but yeah, maybe this is something that you found interesting, maybe something you always asked yourself when you played the game, like where is this supposed to be, or can I even go there? I mean, with the right tools you can always go there, and you can see where it is on the map, so if you have the tools to do it, may as well visit this place. You could also visit it as Zhuge Liang, which is even funnier. It would be even funnier if you had a two-player mode and someone would actually go up here and then the cutscene happens and then there's like two Zhuge Liangs, or there's Lu Bu standing up here. That would actually be very funny. But yeah, and that message was like, there was something broken, but yeah, there's like the small mistakes in this game that they made. It's like not a big thing, but yeah, this is like the biggest thing in this game that I can definitely show as the first thing. Especially because this is like something that is one of the few things in Dynasty Warriors 2 that you can actually see and know about and could actually wonder where it is. Because the other things that exist in the game are completely unused. Like the beta versions of the horses, or the second costume for Shahodun. I probably don't have like a way to show this, but just to have, you know, just to say this, to have this documented. But yeah, this is the first video, and I hope you learned something, and the next video is also going to be very interesting, just like all of the other videos that I have planned, so yeah. Maybe give your video a like, maybe subscribe for more of these videos where we analyze stuff in Dynasty Warriors that not many players know about. And yeah, bye bye.